Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of your favorite program on television, Inside Nigeria. It is reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Webo, and I'm your host on this program. We are going to be reviewing some select newspapers' headline stories on today's show. And of course, we like to start off with Leadership, your most influential newspaper. We have other papers on our menu as well. We have The Punch, THISDAY, The Nation, Vanguard, The Guardian, and Daily Sun. Leadership leads with hardship, relief as Labour suspends indefinite strike at 11th hour. Hardship, relief as Labour suspends indefinite strike at 11th hour. Gives federal government 1 month to implement sped art programs. Direct workers to go to work. I'll take that leading story once again. Hardship, relief as Labour suspends indefinite strike at 11th hour. Gives federal government 1 month to implement sped art programs. Direct workers to go to work. And beneath that, we have the picture caption for that leading story. We have the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Bakolalong, Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC President Joe Ajero, Trade Union Congress, TUC President Festus Osifo, and NLC General Secretary Comrade Emmanuel Guaja during the signing of agreement between the federal government and the unions at Presidential Villa yesterday. Relief as Labour suspends indefinite strike at 11th hour. That's the leading story on Leadership. And beside that, we have 17 die in Rivers pipeline explosion. EFCC secures arrest warrant against Desani. Nigeria's first emeritus professor Umaru Shehu dies at 92. May his soul rest in peace. And just above that, we have tribunal verdict. Governor Sule goes on appeal. On Bugadu celebrates. Story continues on page 7 of Leadership. NDIC begins payment of 16.18 billion naira to liquidated banks depositors. NDIC begins payment of 16.18 billion naira to liquidated banks depositors. Above the masthead, non-interest banking, Taj Bank leads in Tier 1 capital, PBT. Enugu tribunal verdict violated constitution, Barrister Ezike. And just for Leadership, we move over to the page 3 of the paper where we have our stand. Our stand today is on End National Grid Collapse. End National Grid Collapse. And that takes us to the back page of the paper, Tuesday column with Ray Murphy. Lateness and disrespect of time by public officers. For more on this, the editorial inside stories and of course continuation of headline stories on Leadership, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to The Punch. Punch has same story on labor. The Punch says 6-month allowance, federal government to spend 315 billion naira. Labor suspends strike for 30 days. 6-month allowance, federal government to spend 315 billion naira. Labor suspends strike for 30 days. And the rider underneath it says Labour demands wage award for state, local government, private sector workers. 1.5 million federal workers to benefit from government's provisional wage award. I'll take that leading story once again. 6-month allowance, federal government to spend 315 billion naira. Labour suspends strike for 30 days. Labour demands wage award for state, local government, private sector workers. 1.5 million federal workers to benefit from government's provisional wage award. And just like Leadership, we have the pictures of a Labour and Minister of Labour, that is NLC, meeting yesterday at Presidential Villa as they were putting T's and I's to the dotted lines. Beneath that, we have Tribunal sack Sule declares PDP winner of Nasarawa poll. Tribunal sack Sule declares PDP winner of Nasarawa poll. 9 killed in Plateau, Taraba family of 4 electrocuted. 9 killed in Plateau, Taraba family of 4 electrocuted. Taj Bank gross earnings to 227 billion naira. Charge Bank gross earnings to 227 billion naira. And with that, we move above the masthead of the Punch, where we have marketers disagree with Tinubu tax advisor on refinery sale. Marketers disagree with Tinubu tax advisor on refinery sale. The story continues on page 2 of the Punch. Bribery, UK court restricts dishonest movement. EFCC begins extradition. Bribery, UK court restricts dishonest movement. EFCC begins extradition. And just the last story on the cover of the Punch, we have Chicago Varsity releases Tinubu's record to Atiku. Chicago Varsity releases Tinubu's record to Atiku. For more, that is continues on page 8 of the Punch, and of course continuation of these headline stories inside pages, and of course the editorial. Log on to the website of the Punch, www.punchng.com. From Punch, we have Vanguard. Vanguard is next on our menu, and Vanguard leads with similar story on Labour's aborted strike. And it says federal government Labour reached truce, nationwide strike suspended. Federal government Labour reached truce, nationwide strike suspended. Organized labor suspends nationwide strike, be to start today for 1 month. Labour federal government signed MOU on issues agreed on. Provisional 35,000 wage award for workers secured. We also have same pictures in last picture underneath the leading story as government officials, labor leaders meet on strike. That is the picture of Minister of Labour and the NLC executives. South Africa won't rise by prayer, fasting, Professor Lumumba. Africa won't rise by prayer, fasting, Professor Lumumba. The story continues on page 8 of Vanguard. Embracing effective and strategic leadership, path to Nigeria's progress. Embracing effective and strategic leadership, path to Nigeria's progress. The story continues on page 14 of the paper. 35 persons burned to death at Rivers illegal oil refining site. 35 persons burned to death at Rivers illegal oil refining site. 8 killed, 5 injured in Plateau community. APC mocks 8-man NNPP London protest. Slams Kano governor for blackmailing federal government. We have violence, impunity, greed, selfishness won't save Nigeria, Anglican bishops. International friendlies talking about sports. Omerio, Iwobi, Osayi, Samuel, Murphy back to Super Eagles. From that sports, we move over to the stories above the masthead of Vanguard. Vanguard says manufacturers query federal government 6 months VAT waiver on diesel. Manufacturers query federal government 6 months VAT waiver on diesel. The story continues on page 19. Tribunal sacks Nassarawa governor in split decision. Palliatives, government making announcements with limited thinking. Peter Obi. Desani gets 70,000 Desani gets 70,000 pounds bail in alleged 100,000 pounds bribery trial. Federal government draws roadmap to make Nigeria total digital economy. The story continues on page 8. And for more on Vanguard, continuation of this headline stories, log on to the website www.vanguardngr.com. And from Vanguard, we move over to The Guardian. Guardian, same story on the cover today. Labour accepts federal government's proposals, suspend strike for 30 days. Labour accepts federal government's proposals, suspend strike for 30 days. The story continues on page 6 of the paper. HND must ado about conversion, 650,000 top up program. That's the news analysis which continues on page 4 of The Guardian. Food fair prices spike, put more Nigerians under pressure. Is a news that continues on page 6 of the paper. Food fair prices spike, put more Nigerians under pressure. Tribunal sacks Sule, declares Ombugadu winner of Nasarawa poll. Cooking gas scarcity looms as price hits 1,000 naira per kg. EFCC obtains arrest warrant on Desani, begins extradition plan. And just above that, we have at the platform Lumumba Oyedele, others underscore how to develop Nigeria. At the platform Lumumba Oyedele, others underscore how to develop Nigeria. Non-interest banking, Taj Bank leads a Tier 1 capital PBT, profit before tax. For more on these, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. And from Guardian, we have Daily Sun next on our menu. Daily Sun says, strike, federal government reaches truce with NLC TUC. Strike, federal government reaches truce with NLC TUC. Strike suspended for 30 days. Government urged to prevail on states to implement salary award. We have pictures of Ajero, Tinubu, Usipo beneath the leading story, just like we have on the cover of The Guardian. Federal government begins Dezani's extradition as minister arraigned in UK court, slammed £70,000 bail. Federal government begins Dezani's extradition as minister arraigned in UK court, slammed £70,000 bail. Economy, Buhari's ex-spokesman counters Tinubu's wife. Economy, Buhari's ex-spokesman counters Tinubu's wife. How I would have handled subsidy removal, palliatives distribution, Obi insists few subsidy is organized crime. Terrorism, 22 Katsina local governments not safe. Governor Rada tells IGP. Fire kills 20 persons at bunkering site in Rivers. Tribunal upholds Adamawa governor's election, dismisses SDP's petition. Non-interest banking, Taj Bank leads in Tier 1 capital, profit before tax. And on the strip, we have COVID-19 scientists win Nobel Prize for medicine. COVID-19 scientists win Nobel Prize for medicine. And just before we leave Daily Sun, we move up where we have another story just beside the masthead. Tribunal sacks Nasarawa governor, declares Philippines on Bugaju winner. Dismisses Labour Party's petition against Fubara's election in Rivers. Enugu Labour Party lawmaker wins. The story continues on page 26 and page 29 of Daily Sun. And for more on this, log on to the website www.sunnynewsonline.com. Next on our menu is The Nation. Nation leads with similar story on Labour and federal government. And it says federal government votes 100 billion naira for high capacity CNG buses. Federal government votes 100 billion naira for high capacity CNG buses. Labour suspends strike after signing agreement with federal government. And we have the agreement in bus. Agreement says suspension of strike for 30 days. Federal government to press states on wage award. Tax incentives for private sector workers. 35,000 for federal workers for 6 months. 75,000 for 15 million households. Suspension of VAT on diesel. Increased distribution of subsidized fertilizer. Joint visitation to refineries. This is some of the parts of the agreement reached between Labour and federal government yesterday at the presidential villa. We also have other stories. £100,000 bribe trial. UK court slammed tough bail times on Dizani. £100,000 bribe trial. UK court slams tough bail times on Dizani. EFCC to press on with her extradition. This is the second leading story on The Nation today, Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. Tinubu graduated from CSU in 1979, says Q. Tinubu graduated from Chicago State University in 1979, says Q. Varsity releases documents to Atiku. This is news that continues on page 4 of The Nation. And on the strip, we have NAF airstrikes kick terrorists in Borno. NAF airstrikes kick terrorists in Borno. SANU seeks 25% pay rise. And just beside it, we have a little excerpts too on the cover. WHO okays Oxford vaccine for malaria. Trump fraud case trial begins. Our expectations from Liberia polls. Find out more as you log on to The Nation. But we are not done yet. We have other stories still on the cover of The Nation. President celebrates General Akinrinade at 84. President Tinubu celebrates General Akinrinade at 84. Government key 9 in Plateau. And above the masthead of this nation, we have Tribunal sacks Nasarawa Governor. Ubara Fintiri triumph. ICA withdrawal stays to get 1 trillion naira refund. 18 burned to death in Rivers illegal refinery fire. Obaseki inaugurates 34 SSAs, 152 SAs. The story continues on page 27 of the Nation. And of course, with that, we've come to the Nation's headline stories review. And you can log on to the Nation, www.thenationonlineng.net. And from the Nation, we come back to the last paper we have on our menu this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2023. And this day is leading with the Chicago story. It says, at last, Chicago State University releases Tinubu's academic records deposition today. At last, CSU releases Tinubu's academic records deposition today. Documents say Tinubu attended CSU and high school, graduated from Government College, Lagos. Request number 2, a true and correct copy of any diploma issued by CSU in 1979 to Mr. Tinubu. Response to request number 2, CSU does not in the ordinary course keep copies of student diplomas, and after diligent search cannot locate a copy of the original diploma it prepared for Mr. Tinubu in 1979. Hence, has no documents responsive to this request. Another new that we have Senate Committee Chairman on Gas comments Tinubu CNG project. The story continues on page 32 of this day. And just we move up, just beneath the masthead, we have Obi, that is Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate in the past election. No country flows currency without adequate supply. Says he would have devalued, borrowed to stabilize Naira, boosted capital inflow through export. Declares federal government's financial palliative subsidy removal don't have haphazardly. Will be no country flows currency without adequate supply. Says he would have devalued, borrowed to stabilize Naira, boosted capital inflow through export. Declares federal government's financial palliatives subsidy removal done haphazardly. And above that, we have UK government takes Desani to court over bribery charge. The story continues on page 36 of this day. NLC TUC suspend planned nationwide strike for 30 days. Non-interest banking, Taj Bank leaves in Tier 1 capital, profit before tax. And of course, that concludes the leading story on today's, on the cover of this day, October 3rd, 2023. And with this, we've come to the end of the newspaper review on your darling station, Leadership Television, and the program is Inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Webo. Until we come your way again, same time, same station, tomorrow, Wednesday, October 4th. This wishing you a beautiful day. Stay blessed.
Thank you for watching.